Hi, everybody. So let's talk about polygamy, polyamory, and all the other polys out there. Any form of relationship that involves more than one person. I think in the black community, polygamy is trending because a lot of people are thinking that polygamy is a new form of freedom, even polyamory in relationships. That it means that you have everybody in that relationship, like, is a form of freedom, and they feel like monogamy is obsolete. Monogamy is very restrictive, and therefore is not in sync with the new generation of sexual freedom. And then the dumbass ones, the daft ones, especially in the African community, African American community, they talk about how polygamy is part of our ancestral culture. In Africa, back in the days, men used to have more than one wife. True, that is true. But let me educate your wives about the reason why men had more than one wife in those days. Let me educate your wives, because my grandfather had 3 wives. And this is not Asian. My grandfather died in the 2000s. My grandmother, the first wife, died in 2000. The 3rd wife still lives. Okay? Let me tell you why my grandfather had 3 wives. Back in the day, the number of children you had was a sign of how wealthy you were. My grandfather had 14 children from 3 women. The number of children you had was a direct correlation with how wealthy you were. Because it's a certain kind of wealthy man that can take care of 14 children. Remember, the women didn't work. Oh no, the women did not work at all. The women stayed at home and the man took care of them. That's how it worked. And another reason why they had 3 wives with many children was because infant mortality rate was so high that it was sort of a way for them to circumvent that. Okay, so that if they had, I don't know why all these flies are coming around. If they had 3 wives, it increased their chance of having a lot of children. Okay, because a woman can only have a baby at least once a year. And if the man had 3 wives and had the 3 women, he can have 3 babies in 1 year versus having just 1. And also, the reason why if the number of children was attached to how wealthy you were, because imagine if you had a farmland, okay, and you had 15 kids. That is more labor, right? And with more labor, you can plant more crops, you can till more land, you can produce more food, versus somebody who had 1 or 2, who were seen as the poorest people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we had a totally different connotation. Nowadays, these motherfuckers want to have 3, 4, 5, 6 women who work for themselves, who make their own money, who pay for their ass, because they can't even take care of 1 of the women. They just want 7 women to fuck. They can take care of 1. My grandfather took care of 3 of his wives and 14 of his kids. And you know what? Out of those 14 kids, 13 of them went to college. Doctors, attorneys. These fuckers up in here talking about polygamy. Oh no, the women go to work. The women make their own money. The women take care of themselves. This idiot can't take care of the women. And yet, so many women are up in here talking about how polygamy is a new thing. Fuck you! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up, woman. You got no standards. That's why you have settled for that. My grandmother didn't work. Not 1 fucking day. Not 1 fucking day. My grandfather worked and took care of 3 of his wives with all his kids. Had shit left behind when he died for them. You're up in here talking about polygamy. A man. Let me tell you, polygamy in this day and age is for the weak people. Let me tell you why. It takes a lot of emotional maturity for a man to choose to love 1 woman. It takes a lot. Because there are so many women out here. But it takes a lot of emotional and spiritual and mental maturity for a man to choose to love and stay loyal to 1 woman. It takes a lot. A lot. These fuckers out here don't have that. And this woman are thinking is progressive. Idiot. It's not progressive. It's actually regressive. Because if a man has 7 wives, he don't got to love any of them. And you think a man will be content with 7 wives? No, he still be fucking bitches on the side. With all them 7 wives he got. Because what you did was you stagnated him mentally and emotionally. He ain't growing. He ain't maturing. He's leading by his impulse. He can't even take care of the woman. He can't even take care of the kids. It takes a lot of emotional maturity for a man to choose to pour his waters into one woman, to pour his resources into the kids that he's making with that one woman, to take care of one woman. In spite of all the bevy of women out here who are desperate for a man's penis, for a man's name, it takes a lot of maturity for that man to say no to all of them and focus on one woman. It ain't every man that can do that, bro. So these idiots who cannot are trying to make polygamy okay and appropriate. Just so they don't have to grow and mature. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of security and a lot of guts for a woman to choose to stay with a woman. To love and nurture a woman. Yes, it's easier for women to do that than men. That's why I say that it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of guts and a lot of mental maturity for a man to stay committed and devoted to one woman. Because the easier route is polygamy. Very easy. You don't have to love anybody. You don't even got to take care of nobody. You have all these women. You don't even got to take care of none of them. None of them. They just sit and open their legs for you. You fuck Nancy on Monday. You fuck Sheila Tuesday. You fuck Rebecca on Wednesday. You fuck Joan on Thursday. You fuck Shaniqua on Friday. And you fuck this one on Saturday. And then you fuck somebody else on Sunday. And then Monday's all over again. Man, what, girl? That's the life, bro. And he ain't got to do shit. Because all these women are up in here fighting over themselves, trying to find who is his favorite. And so he don't got to work. Fucking 7 women, 7 days a week. That's a full-time job. That's a fucking full-time job. He got no energy left to actually devote to working. So he sits in his palace with his dick hanging out, and all these women are coming up in here trying to curry his favor, trying to be his favorite. This one will work and get her paycheck and give it to him. This other one will do this and do that. And that's life. That is life. You guys need to educate yourself. Before you talk to me about polygamy being ancestral, go read a book about the history of the people that you're trying to copy. Read about the socio-economic history. Read about the psychological history. Read about the things that made them do what they do or did in those days. Read about them. My grandmother had, I don't know how many kids she had. I can't think of all my uncles and aunts right now. My direct grandmother. But she was an illiterate. And you know what she told me? That when she's coming back to life next time, she's going to come out with a pencil. She's going to come out with a pencil from the womb. That's what she said. She will be born with a pencil out of her mouth. Because my grandmother understood illiteracy, and she understood how illiteracy got her into the situation it got her. And then there are all these women who have a chance to be educated, and they choose to go the path of illiteracy. The other thing my grandmother said though was that she wasn't going to come back as my child. She said if she came back as my child, she's going to starve to death. She's going to come back as my sister's child, because that was living foodie. But my grandmother understood the power of education. And that was one thing that grieved her, that she wasn't educated. And then there are all these motherfuckers out here who aren't educated, who are choosing to go the path of illiteracy. Pay attention, people.